Okay. I wanted to talk about the Jags season as a whole. I said on this show right before the season started that all I wanted was to be above 500, and I wanted to see improvement on all aspects, like coaching, quarterback play, all of it. And they were the first team in NFL history to go from the first pick to the playoffs. So I would say not only is that improvement, but they obviously also went over 500. They won the AFC South. They beat the Titans twice. That's huge. But I look back at the season and I'm like, turnovers at a bad time seem to be kind of the song of the season, just because it always felt like it was either an ETN fumble in the red zone that you couldn't get back that lost you the game, a Trevor turnover. You look back at, we'll get to the postseason, but it's like that's kind of what seemed to end their season as well, and almost ended their season against the Chargers even earlier. But like, you're playing with house money at that point, so it doesn't even really matter. I did really appreciate the defense's progression after the bye week. I thought at one point Mike Caldwell might be fucking fired during the season. I was like, Mike Caldwell literally might be out of here at any moment, but he saved his job in my opinion. Do I think that he is my favorite hire? No. Do I think that he deserves to keep his job? Yes. And then I thought the special teams kind of kicked ass. Like they had that kickoff that they decided to recover against the Chiefs successfully, like opening kickoff, which was awesome. Jamal Agnew played really well. I think Logan Cook
onside kick, unreal.
Crazy.
Doug P pulling absolute wild plays against Andy Reid.
The Duval special.
Unreal.
And I thought Logan Cook had like an underappreciated season. It's like, I know that punters and kickers don't get a lot of love unless they're like unless they're just like, Harrison Butker is like the first person that comes to mind that's like a punter that gets respect, but he's also handsome. So I like don't even want to throw his name out there because it's like, yes, he's fucking incredible, but like, and he's a kicker, punter, like whatever, but also like there's just not a lot of people out there that get respect at that position, any kicking position, and I think that he's one of them that deserves it. And I have some thoughts on the rookies as well, but do you have any thoughts on the season that you had that you kind of want to circle back to at the beginning?
No, we can circle to this now before you get into rookies though. I just had right under like kind of that just our adventures this season with the Jags.
It's true.
I feel like if we want to recap that real quick. So Vegas for the draft, unreal, so much fun. We went to Washington for week 1, super impulsively, took a train for 8 hours.
The train was incredible.
I was just recently talking about how much I love that train.
I have like a romantic relationship with both those trains.
And I think the thing is that we both can work remotely with what we do. So we just worked on the train. Mm-hmm. And then we were in DC and we were like, this is great. Like I didn't even feel like it was that long of a ride at all.
I had some away games that I was thinking about looking at already. So I might just like bring up the schedule while we talk about this for away games next year. Well, actually, no, because there's places I'm looking at, but also like it's going to depend on the weather for me.
Yeah, I have that in too. Like, so Vegas, we went to Commanders, we went to week 11, we went to the Titans, which was so much fun. And then shout out intern Tyler, who hosted us.
I need you to rank them. Yes, shout out Tyler. I need you to rank them.
Our trips?
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm gonna I had so much fun on all of them. So I'm gonna put number 3, Washington. Highlights were Kendra's friends that I got to meet from Jacksonville were so much fun. They were so great. And that was like my first time meeting like Jags game day fans because I had done the Vegas thing, but I hadn't done a game day yet. So that was really awesome and really cool. So shout out them. But that stadium, FedEx, is the
garbage.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Garbage.
Whoa.
The worst NFL
The worst
stadium
NFL stadium
I have ever been to.
I was flabbergasted by that.
I couldn't, dude, I never want to go there ever again.
No, absolutely not. And I believe it was you or Tyler who said that they had the worst chicken tenders that they've ever had in their life there.
It was Tyler.
And that is such a, like, you know what I mean? That's so.
Did they have a male cheerleader? I can't remember.
I don't know, but they didn't slay as much as the Titans ones did.
The
so
Titans cheerleaders.
As
that's the one thing I will give the tits. They have great dancers.
Absolutely worked it.
My 3 would also be DC.
I would put number 2. I don't know. I would put number 2 as the Titans because we sat. Or no. I don't know. I want to put Titans number 1 because we sat front row. No, number 2. Okay, yeah, I would put Titans number 2. Vegas number 1.
Vegas was so fun.
I knew that when I was like trying to make excuses why I did not put it number 1, but it is so number 1. Vegas was incredible. Literally, some of them. I will remember that trip for the rest of my life. Like,
that was like, I think, my favorite trip I've ever been on.
I think the draft should be in Vegas every year.
Me too.
I think that is the way to go. Like, I just easily one of the most amazing trips I've ever done. And it was so much fun. Like, I feel like.
Are we going to go to Kansas City for the draft? I feel like no, the Jags have a late pick, and I really just don't give a shit to go to see literally the fucking middle of the country and eat barbecue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's literally like the Chiefs and barbecue, and then like people I've talked to are like, oh, like Kansas City has great strip clubs, but like I can't imagine like great strip clubs for Missouri, like you know what I mean? I'm sus about
Atlanta,
that. And like if that's like on your list of draws, like there's nothing else like that. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, the draft is a ton of fun. That's the thing. Like being there in person is fun. But honestly, Kansas City is not ideal.
I'd rather go somewhere else.
Like, yeah.
I want to go to Cleveland. I want to potentially go to Buffalo. And then New Orleans, maybe Tampa. Those are my 4 away games.
Yeah, I am on board for all of them.
Should we go to NOLA? Can we confirm like set in stone NOLA?
Set in stone NOLA for sure. I also have on the calendar for us F1 in Vegas is coming. So that's going to be literally insane. I was just in Vegas for Christmas because that's what I do. I guess, you know, super
New
casual.
Tradition.
Super
New
casual.
tradition.
You know, I was just in Vegas for Christmas. No, but I went on vacation with my brother and my mom. It was so much fun. Anyway, but Formula 1 is coming and that's going to be sick. Like, it's going to be crazy. I don't even know hotel prices. It's going to be nuts. Like, I'm sure it's so crazy. Expensive. But, like, we should figure something out. If anyone knows any way we can cover F1, let me know. Because I would love to go to Vegas for the F1.
I know nothing about F1. I just want to see it.
Yeah, they're doing it on the strip. Like, the race. It's insane.
I know. That's why I want to go.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Perfect. So those are our sort of thinking away games. Well, at least for sure locked in, be going to NOLA. I want to train somewhere. That has to be a must. We need to train somewhere.
We do need to train somewhere.
Or I don't know. I need to train somewhere immediately. I want to go to New York. Let's go to New York, actually.
We should go to New York.
Okay, slay. We're just high and talking, but I'm like actually kind of serious.
No, I'm serious too. I want to go for the Big East tournament this year.
I could be convinced.
They do it at the Garden, which is kind of fun. I don't know if they're gonna. That's what they've done in the past. I've always wanted to go, but I have never gone. So, because I like, do I want to go to a Nets game? Not really. Do I want to watch basketball at the Garden? Yeah. So, like,
fair, valid.
Okay. But you were gonna do your rookie rankings. I would like to hear them for the Jags.
I just have a couple grades for the first 5 picks. The last 2 guys didn't really like. It didn't stick out to me.
Did I say ratings?
I should have done the pyramid.
Yeah, a tier. Yeah, at the bottom of the pyramid.
I'm gonna do that. The pyramid of rookies.
At the bottom of the pyramid.
Yes. So the bottom of my pyramid, I would say probably. Okay. What I need to ask is, do I need to grade just their performance alone, or what I think of like the draft pick as a whole 1 year in, or
I don't know. I think it's an overall grade. I think you can consider both, right?
okay. All right. So my bottom two
Not the bottom.
based off of that, the player and like where we drafted them, I would say Devin Lloyd would be the bottom of my period. Period. Why do I always do that? Every show, every time we do a pyramid, I say period. Every time. I swear to God, it happens every single episode. And I don't do it on purpose at all. Pyramid.
Period.
Per. Okay. It would have to be Devin Lloyd. Towards the beginning of the season, he had a couple fumble recoveries that were good. He had almost a pick six. I think that there was, a penalty on Trayvon Walker that called it back, if I'm not mistaken. So, and he did not play at all towards the end of the year, nor should he. I think he has a low football IQ. I think that he needs the Kyler clause in his contract. He needs to be watching some film. He was getting fucking lost out there, which I do have Chad Muma on this list as well. But part of what makes it worse for me, as far as like an overall pick, is that they traded up to get Devin Lloyd, got Chad Muma later in the draft, and Chad wound up playing more than Devin. And I know why they did it, and it was because Devin was projected to go higher than I think that he should have based off of like how he performed this season. But you were like a first round draft pick, and you were getting benched for a guy that was also a rookie that was drafted later than you when you were traded up for, and you felt like you were just getting outworked. I don't know. It kind of just felt like he was relying on being a good athlete. In the pros, you can't do that. Like you just can't rely on being a good athlete anymore because you're around the best of the best athletes. And I think that Chad Muma is just a smart player. Do I think he's the most athletic kid on the field? Absolutely not. But he got embarrassed a couple times this season, but he had a good year. I gave him a B+. I would say he's probably in that like gray area of the draft for me. Another pick that I didn't love, if we are doing this all cumulatively, do I think that Trayvon Walker is a beast athlete? Yes. Do I think that he can absolutely blossom into a great pass rusher? Not even including the talk of changing the way that the defense plays right now. Yes, I think he can do that. But anytime you are a first overall pick, I think that you should be in conversation for a defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, something like that. And what makes it worse is that Aiden Hutchinson is in that conversation, and so is Sauce Gardner. So, hello.
So I would just say, and if you're watching me and I'm smiling and I'm laughing, it's because how did you feel about that pick when it happened? Because I was there in person.
Yeah, and I was standing on the table crying at the draft.
If you told us then that we would be having this conversation now, we would have believed you. Like, I feel like with that pick, you knew, and even I, not even as a Jag super fan at the time, but, you know, just a general football fan saw that pick and was like, huh.
It changed.
So it's unfortunate that it didn't, you know, I really wanted it to work out and have, you know, it change our mind, but it kind of worked out exactly how we thought it was going to.
There's still time for it to work out. I believe in giving guys 3-ish years. There's been examples where I think that we cut ties at a good time. One being Laviska Shenault of recent, Kayla Von Chason, another thing, Taven Bryan, another recent. Yeah, we suck at the draft. Do I think that there's still time for him to develop into the player that we think that he is when we drafted him? Yes. But the conversation changed so quickly to Trayvon Walker being taken at that first pick. And it's like, I was obviously apprehensive about it. And I think he can still work out, but it's just like, anytime you're a first overall pick, I think that you should, unless you're a quarterback, let me preface that, unless you're a quarterback, but that position, I think that you should be in the conversation, especially because the guy taken right after you is. That's my point. I would say the top of my pyramid would be, well, not the top of my pyramid, but like my second place would be probably Chad Muma, Snoop Connor right under him. He had a huge touchdown return when we needed him at one point in the year with J-Rob gone. And him behind Etienne and Hasty. I think he's fine. He played his role well. I think he's decent depth there, but he just didn't really play enough for me to be surprised. I don't know. I kind of expected him to be that guy in the running back core to pick up the blitz, and that just didn't wind up happening. But so he's fine. And I would say Chad Muma right above him just because of the shoes that he was asked to fill. But the shoes that Luke Fortner was asked to fill and how he filled them, incredible. I think that Luke Fortner was an absolute A of a draft pick, especially where they got him. He had a lot of unexpected production at that position this year, and I think that he can absolutely develop into like a long time player for us, especially if they keep him and Trevor around and ETN around. I think that that's a home run.
A lot of love in the fan base too for him.
I love Luke Fortner.
Yeah.
I think that he's a good dude. I'm glad to have him on our team. So that is kind of my roundup of the season.